Hey everyone, I'm your average guide, Sahil Gogna. Thanks for tuning into my podcast series. Welcome to another episode of the Tech Talks. In this episode, we have Mr. Amol Kankane. He is working as a solution architect and machine learning engineer at EPAM Systems Toronto. He is one of the smartest people whom I have met in Canada, who have deep and practical knowledge of their field, and most importantly, he loves what he does. Hello Amol, welcome to my show.
Hi, Sahil. Thanks for having me here.
It's great to have you. So, Amol, before we start asking you a few questions, I would like to know about you, like how you landed into your job in Canada and what exactly your job role is.
Sure. I think I had a bit out of the ordinary journey. So I'm just going to like cover up the main key points here, and if you'd like to, uh, want me to elaborate more on certain aspects of it, let me know. First of all, I graduated in mechanical engineering from Indian Institute of Technology, BHU Varanasi, so which is in India. So
Okay,
I graduated in mechanical engineering, but I'm working on something entirely different from what mechanical has, just
oh,
because
that's
I
cool.
was always, curious about uh, technology, robotics, and robotics has always fascinated me. Just seeing all these science fiction movies and everything that the robots can do, and I think like our human bodies put constraints on us, and with machines we can build what our imagination wants to build. So that's what always kind of got me curious.
Hmm.
So initially, I started like soon as I entered college, I started working with the robotics club and just basically learning different components that involve robotics. So I gained some experience in robot dynamics. I gained some experience in electrical engineering, electronics engineering, embedded systems to be specific. And once I started working on these robots, which I would code and which would move around, do exactly as I said, the next step for me was to delve deeper into what artificial intelligence has to offer in this space.
Hmm.
So being in mechanical engineering, I had no courses for intelligence, and it was just kind of at a point I was at a point that how do I approach this, how do I learn this efficiently. So what I did was I was just browsing on the internet about resources to learn artificial intelligence back when I was in my third year of college. Yes.
Hmm.
So I stumbled upon Coursera and I took some courses there, some broadly courses from Andrew Ng, the very famous course.
Hmm.
And another one was the data science specialization from Johns Hopkins University. So, like by the end of my fourth year, I was very much into like artificial intelligence. I had explored a lot, and it was just the next step was like, how do I end up working with artificial intelligence? So the biggest struggle was that it's really hard for freshers to land in a job which has artificial intelligence.
Hmm.
So there,
Exactly.
yeah. So basically, when the placements came, all these companies came, I was not like very intrigued by the job profiles that I saw. Some I would not qualify for because I was from mechanical engineering, and they would like companies like Microsoft, Amazon. They would not, interview people who were not from the circuit branches, that being computer science, electronics, and electrical. So I just did
Hmm.
not sit for placements for the first time, and I applied for my master's in science in robotics. So I applied to some universities in the US, and in the first couple of months, I faced some rejections because then again, my branch was mechanical engineering. I did not do too well academically there. So seeing those rejections, my friends were like, why don't you interview for some company? So
Hmm.
that's when my previous company, Capgemini, came into the uh, campus for the second time. I did not appear for the interviews for the first time, so I decided to just give it a shot, have it as like a backup option, just in case
Okay.
I don't get to where I want to go to. So when Capgemini came into the campus, they interviewed. It went very smoothly. They extended a job offer for me. So at that point, I was like, am I ready to like, take a lot of loan, just leave the country and like basically commit 4 to 5 years at least to a certain thing, which I was not extremely sure of, because when you go for your master's, you want to know what your exact thesis is going to be. So robotics is a wide field, right? And my interests were all over. As I said, like I was doing dynamics, I was doing motion planning, I was doing embedded systems, just integrating things. I was doing artificial intelligence, and I was just not too sure. So I bought myself a year then. I decided to take the job opportunity that I had, and I joined Capgemini in Pune, in India. So next thing was I was being trained like any IT services company would train you with like a specific programming language. In general, it's Java. They teach you some web development based on Java.
Mhm.
So I learned all of that for the first couple of months. Meanwhile, continuing to do my Coursera courses. So I definitely like binging Coursera more than Netflix somehow. So
Okay.
that is always fun. So I was just continuously doing that. And they had some interviews about, okay, what have you learned in the past couple of months, and just to assign you certain projects. So because
Mhm.
I was always interested in deep learning, machine learning, etc., that's all I talked about. I did not speak about how I like performed in my tests related to Java, web development. All I was talking about is I love robotics. That's where I see myself going. I love artificial intelligence. So it's very uncommon in an IT company, where to
Mhm.
find cutting edge research. But I was lucky enough to be allotted to a project of this rising domain, which is robotics process automation. So they allotted me to that project, they assigned me there, and I started working with them. Now is when the dots started connecting. So first of software stack that I was working with was based on Java. So I knew Java. Great, good at that.
Okay.
Now, robotic process automation industry was moving towards this, uh, an, you know, a new upgrade, which was called intelligent automation, and which would start involving machine learning and data science and things like that. So, because I already had prior experience there, so I got a certain edge. I was given most of the projects which were related to machine learning, which also
Mhm.
got me involved with so many things, so many client facing roles. So I gained a lot of experience around how businesses work, how clients operations work, how do you productionize system, how do you deliver to the KPIs, which are the key performance indicators, and things like that. So I kept working there for a while, for a couple of years actually, and just kept growing in that path, develop my niche, still staying focused on deep learning. I took the entire deep learning specialization, which is on Coursera, and that gave me a lot of knowledge about that. And though I was not working with like developing algorithms, it was great to have that knowledge on the side. And the next thing was I
Mhm.
got an offer from my current company, and they extended the offer, and I was in India. They had requirements for someone. They could not find someone with similar skills in Toronto or Canada. So they interviewed me. That went well. They kind of liked me.
Okay.
They extended an offer. And yeah, that's how I got here. About my current role. So I continue to do work with intelligent automation. I'm now working as a solution architect. So a solution architect would ensure a customer's journey from discovery to production, like discovery of a process, like
Okay.
just working with the customer, seeing where automation would give them value, how to deliver it, what systems would be required, how everything integrates, um, are all the compliances and policies of the customer followed, like the security, infrastructure, etc., and how just to most efficiently deliver something that benefits the customer. So that's what I do right now.
That's something so cool. Like you don't have any background in coding, and you are now currently a machine learning engineer and solution architect. So
Hmm.
that's quite amazing. So there's one thing that comes in every person mind who has not entered into this field is like they feel like this field of machine learning and artificial intelligence, it's for the really smart people, or like the people who have already gone through the academics. And since you have learned this from scratch, so can you describe like what was your learning experience, and how one should uh, prepare their course in order to land into this field?
Okay, so first I'll start with the first part of your question, that machine learning being for like really smart people or can anybody take it? I definitely think
Yeah.
that there are very smart people and there are people with learning deficiencies, and most
Hmm.
of the people would be somewhere in the middle of the spectrum, right? And I think with
Yeah.
efforts, you anybody can learn anything. Talent has a way, like has a certain role to play on it, but efforts have a more exponential role. So if anybody is curious about something, they put their time to it and they're genuinely curious. So curiosity is the best motivation ever. At least
Hmm.
that has been the case for me. So if you're curious about something, you keep learning, and you're just answering questions.
Okay.
So just satisfying your curiosity is the motivation. It's no specific job, it's no specific amount of money that you want. I mean, those things are certainly important, but long as your primary motivation is curiosity, I think anybody can learn anything.
Hmm.
So I think I'll just go to the next part of the question now. So the second part of the question was, how would somebody who is an absolute beginner get themselves involved to machine learning in general? So first of all, some coding
Yeah.
language is
Exactly.
always a great plus to have at the start. So if one does not know or has experience with an object-oriented programming language, I think that's something they should definitely do. Any language works, because
Hmm.
once you have learned a certain language, transitioning to any other language is a lot easier. So let's say if you have experience
Hmm.
with like R, you can also do analytics in Python because concepts remain the same, syntaxes would change. So first thing would be that.
Yeah.
The next thing that you have to do is learn mathematics. So even though most of your job profiles would not directly require you to work on the mathematics of artificial intelligence or machine learning or data science, it always helps to know the fundamentals, to develop an intuition. Otherwise, you're just putting things in a black box and just expecting results to magically appear. If they don't appear, you don't know what to change, how to tweak the parameters, how to change things. So I think just getting your fundamentals strong is very good. And for that, like there's tremendous resources online. There's a number of courses. I started with Coursera and I have like a personal affection for Coursera now because
Yeah.
that just taught me so much. Trust me, if my 4 years of engineering did not happen, I wouldn't care how. But
Hmm.
if Coursera never happened, I don't know where I'd be. So yeah, I think like just taking some basic courses there and just they're taught by these top professors you, in these universities, in Ivy League universities. So it is a great place to learn the mathematics and the fundamentals of machine learning. So I started with the course by Andrew Ng. I moved on to the data science
Hmm.
specialization, which covers more aspects of the statistics, etc., and how to visualize data, how to do data analysis, and just for the data science environment, just get familiar with that. So I think that is a good way to start, and eventually to be good at something, you have to work with it. So working on independent projects is great, but having some experience definitely helps.
You talked about experience. So, whenever we came across the job profiles these days about machine learning engineers or the
Hmm.
artificial intelligence, they just talk about the experienced people. They never, I came across a lot of job descriptions
Yeah,
whenever I read, they are for like at least 3 to 4 years of experienced people. So if a person who is about to graduate from college, or who has just started the college,
for sure.
how they can compensate the
Yeah,
lack
that's
of
that's that's very
experience
true, and that's kind
for
of the
these job
irony
roles?
that everybody wants experience, but to get experience, you
Yeah,
have to start with a job, right? So I get that entirely, but I think there's
exactly.
still some gates of entry here. First of all, I get the perspective of the person putting out
Hmm.
the job opportunity, that they want somebody experienced because machine learning is a lot. And as I said, like I've been taking these courses, they do not teach me how to productionize systems, and that's what matters in the end. So like if I know how the mathematics
Okay.
of SVM or
Hmm.
neural networks work, I don't need to do that anymore, because like they already have these different frameworks which would just implement that for you. Now, how do you productionize systems? How do you manage projects? And all of that is learned with experience, and that's what I completely get. And as you said, like it says like 3 to 4 years of experience at least. They say 3 to 4 years of experience in machine learning or data science, and 8 to 9
Yeah.
years of experience in the software services industry or something like that. So yeah, it is like that. And
Yes,
mostly whenever
exactly.
they are hiring for data scientists, they would go for PhDs, because those are the people who have spent like at least half a
Hmm.
decade of their life working on this field. So they know, you know, the boundaries of knowledge of this field. So and they can push it. So that is why generally if there's an opening for a data science related role, it's going to be for somebody with a master's degree or a PhD degree or having a lot of experience in it. Now for freshers, what do we do? I think the best thing would be to get involved in something which is related to this field. So if you are like then again, like machine learning is so diverse. Not everybody wants to work in data science. Actually, like many of
Hmm.
these projects often tend to get more boring than exciting. I mean, it does sound fascinating from afar that wow, I'm building like an intelligent machine and things like that, but mostly you're just iterating and iterating over different data sets and just cleaning your data, doing statistical analysis on that, and it's just like a lot of boring work actually. So there's other
Hmm.
things like data engineering, data analysis that you can get to, and there's many DevOps roles as well.
Okay.
So where you know how to establish production systems with CI/CD built in, so it can run in production. So
Hmm.
you're not doing the data science work really, but you're managing the data, or you're managing how the models get deployed in real time.
Okay.
So let's say, let's talk about Facebook. So Facebook constantly keeps learning when you interact on the website and when you click on the ads, but there's never a downtime, and it is still learning something about you. So all these models are being trained in real time and in such a huge scale. So a lot of work is not about the mathematics of AI or the machine learning models. It's more about how to scale systems and how to integrate systems.
Hmm.
So if somebody finds a data engineering related role, big data related role, cloud related role, DevOps related role, just get in there. Long as you can work with the people around you, and if you have that eagerness to learn
Okay.
and you start contributing on the side, people would always notice you no matter what.
Okay, that was something interesting piece of advice for the freshers. And if we talk about the job market currently in Canada, so how so what's the demand of these job roles? So like, are there the ample
Hmm,
roles, or like, I just want to know
definitely.
about the
So,
job
well, in Canada, I
demands for
have
these.
been around just for a year now. So, I can only speak from my experience here. But from what I
Hmm.
know and see so far, there is a tremendous opportunity. People are always looking for,
Okay.
capable and talented people who would meet their requirements. So the job market was definitely booming, and there has been a significant low because of the ongoing pandemic, and the number of opportunities have fallen drastically. Every company is trying to, maintain their liquidity and have as much
Hmm.
cash as possible. Onboarding new people is generally an expense at the start before they actually
Hmm.
start being profitable and contributing to projects. So for now, temporarily, I can say that there might be a certain low. So uh, you would see lesser job openings on these various online portals. People might respond less. Not saying that it's entirely down to zero, but it might be the case that it's a bit low. But if you see the bigger picture, if you see the longer run, there's a huge requirement. Everybody. So this pandemic actually stimulated the growth towards this sector. People want to automate now. People want less dependency on people. So because machines don't get affected by biological viruses at least, and they can continue to work. And now with cloud being in place, nobody has to
Yeah.
maintain their own infrastructure, right? And everybody can just deploy, scale with a click. It's just magnificent to say the least. So there's tremendous opportunities, just that one has to develop a niche and see like
Hmm.
what do you offer to the job market. So if you're just like a developer who has experience in Java, well, there's thousands like you, so anybody who has more experience would get hired first. But if you look at these upcoming technologies, let's go back to cloud, everybody starts the same here, because it's just been around for it's been around for a decade, but only in the last couple of years is when it has seen significant rise. And it's just easy to learn, and you can easily be, you know, more knowledgeable than a person who has been in the industry for 15 years. So definitely huge opportunities. You just have to know where to look, what motivates you, what do
Yeah.
you want, and how to get there.
So you talked about there's a huge market. So would you like to give any tips to the new graduates or the students in the college to tailor their
Hmm.
resume, or to just train to some specific skills,
Hmm.
especially to the
So
people
first
who are
of
in the
all,
data engineering
I
field?
think people should know how to sell themselves well. So that starts from your resume, that starts from your LinkedIn profile.
Hmm.
How do you stand out? How do you display what value do you add to somebody's business or organization? So, first of all, people should work on their LinkedIn profiles. Make sure that
Hmm.
it's well made, it's precise and concise, that it has relevant information about you. It does not have a lot of noise in it. Let's say they don't care about your 10th grade, 10th standard
Okay.
grades or 12th standard grades anymore. They just put in what education you have, whatever is relevant to that job profile. Make sure that you highlight only the projects that are relevant to the job profile,
Okay.
and a couple others on the side if you think that you had significant contributions there. So let's say if you were a team lead for a certain project which is not maybe relevant to the job that you're applying to, but there was a significant contribution from your side that led that project to success. So I think just advertise yourself, have all
Hmm.
the requirements, like I know these softwares, I know these packages, I know these frameworks, I have worked with them, and just keep flowing through your resume. It should be a very easy read. Within the
Hmm.
first 20 seconds, people would know if they want to talk to you, or if they
Okay.
don't want to talk to you. So just make sure that your resume or your LinkedIn profile captures somebody's attention in 20 seconds.
Well, I think, Amol, we are done with the today's interview. And thanks a lot for taking out the time. And you have helped me to clear a lot of doubts of the freshly graduates and the people who are in college, because even in my friend circle, and even if I scroll down on LinkedIn, these were the few
Sure.
commonly asked questions. And
Glad
you
that
have
it was
helped a
helpful.
lot of
Thanks for
students.
having me here.
Thanks a lot for taking your time.
All right, Sahil. Bye.